Guys, it's Melanie, and today we are going to continue with my top picks for spring. And I mean, you could also call them top picks for summer, but we're closer to spring than summer right now, so I'm going to go with spring. These are my blush picks for you. Now, I could not narrow it down to 5. There is just no way that was happening. I am a blush aficionado. I would say that blush and eyeshadow are really the two makeup items that I obsess the most about. So I have 10, and I also have an honorable mention, which would be technically number 11, but I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I will give you swatches. My fingertips are, I put lotion on earlier today to try to like moisturize my fingers, but I have a lot of like cracks and lines. So if you see the blush like settling into like lines, like there's nothing wrong with the blush, like it's just powder settling into the lines in my fingers. So keep that in mind when I'm giving you the swatches. And again, I'm not swatching on the backs of my hands because I'm dealing with the dry hands. Okay, so I'm going to start with Drugstore, and I actually have 4 blushes, and they're all from Milania. And we're going to get started with the baked blush picks first. I have 3. I have Luminoso, which is this guy right here, Bella Rosa, which is this gorgeousness right here, and I have Delizioso Pink. These to me are perfect picks for the spring. So let me go ahead and swatch all of these. Okay. So here we have Luminoso, sorry. My middle finger is the Delizioso Pink, and then the ring finger is the Bella Rosa. These are perfection, you guys. The Delizioso Pink and the Bella Rosa are considered matte, but they do have a slight satin finish to them. And then the Luminoso is definitely a satin finish. These are beautiful, beautiful blushes that I honestly, like, they are some of my favorites, like, in my entire collection. And I love the beautiful flush of color that I get. I love the, like, glowiness that they bring to my cheeks. I'm more of a fall makeup person overall, I would say, but there is something about a brighter blush that definitely makes you feel a lot more alive and vibrant. And I would say that all 3 of these definitely give you that, like, vibrancy. Is vibrancy a word? Just that beautiful, like, glow to your skin that makes you look alive and fresh and young. So these 3, super affordable and readily available in any store that sells Milania. I buy all of my Milania at Fred Meyer. Fred Meyer is a store in the Pacific Northwest where you can get all kinds of random stuff, but it's kind of like a Target basically. But they sell quite a bit of the Milania makeup there now, and that's where I got all of mine. The last one from Milania I'm going to mention is the Milania Rose Powder Blush in Coral Cove. This looks like craziness. I know some people don't care for the texture of these, and I can understand why. They are a little bit more powdery when you swatch them. However, when I use a blush brush to apply this to my cheeks, it goes on beautifully. It is very vibrant, very bright. It's one that you definitely have to use a light hand with. As with the Bella Rosa, please use a light hand with this because you will look like Crazy Clown Lady faster than you can say Crazy Clown Lady. Like, it's frightening. So be careful with that. However, I just love this type of color during this time of year. It just makes your face come alive. Use a light hand, but I just love the life that this brings to my face. And I always get a lot of compliments when I wear this particular color during the spring and summer. I think people are drawn to it. When they first see it in the pan, they're like, "Wah, no, I'm not putting that on my face." But when I tell them, like, it's this, they're like, "Oh, it doesn't look like craziness." And it won't, as long as you tap off the excess, then apply it. You're going to look fantastic. So, I have butterfingers today, you guys, and this is actually my second time recording this video, so it's just one of those days, but I'm determined to like be productive, so I'm just going with it. So if you see some bloopers, they're staying in. I still haven't figured out iMovie. Can you guys believe it? I've had it now since Christmas. Still can't figure it out. Okay, this is the Blush Rush in Paradise from Smashbox. So it's one of these Smashbox blushes here. You can see I've hit pan on this guy. I love peachy colors. In the spring and summer, I gravitate towards peach like a moth to a flame. I just think it's so pretty. This color is stunning. This has probably the most shimmery satin finish out of all of the ones that I'm showing you. However, it's not obnoxious. I am someone who has larger pores on my cheek area, and so I'm very careful about the products that I use on my cheeks because I don't need anything accentuating the fact that I don't have like super smooth skin on that part of my face. So this doesn't accentuate that, but it provides a beautiful glow, and I just love that peachy color. You're going to see that a couple more times, like with this. This is actually a sample of the Kat Von D Everlasting Face Shaper Blush in the color Bellissima. I have two of these samples because I grabbed them as 100-point perks from Sephora. And this is a very similar color to the Paradise, except it has a more satin finish versus like a satin shimmer finish, if that makes sense. These are really great blushes. I have tested them several times when I've been to Sephora, just, you know, like swatching them and playing with them. This is the one I am most attracted to out of like her entire blush collection that she has. This color is gorgeous for spring and summer. I really feel like even if you have a more medium skin tone, this would look absolutely beautiful on you. I would say actually all of the ones that I'm showing you, with the exception of maybe two, would be good for anyone from fair to light to medium skin tones. The next one I'm going to show you is probably only going to be good for somebody who is fair and maybe light. This is Benefits Urbana, and this is actually more of a lavender color. It is, you swirl all of these guys together, and this is what you get. So you can see it's very light, but it just is like a fun pop of like a pinky lavender on your cheeks when you want a very neutral look during the springtime. I really like this blush. Originally, I used to only wear this during the fall, and then I was like, it totally makes a lot more sense to wear this in the spring. And it just is a beautiful finish. I know these Benefit box blushes are expensive. I believe they're like 28 bucks. They're not cheap. However, I think that they are worth the investment if you find one that you really like, because they're just so smooth and just beautiful. I don't really care for the bulky packaging. You could definitely like, I mean, you could have this in like a tiny compact, like you really could, but I mean, they're just kind of famous for these boxes now at this point, so, you know, might as well keep going with it. But just, I love the consistency of the Benefit blushes, and this one right here is a fantastic pick for the springtime because it is such a pretty light lavender pop of color to the cheeks. Again, only light and like fair people should probably try this one out. Another one that I'm going to say is probably better for us fair to light-skinned girls is going to be Dreamsicle by Laura Geller. This is one of her Blush and Brightens. This one here is only a sample size, but Dreamsicle is a beautiful peachy coral color that is so pretty on the cheeks. It's pretty light. You can certainly try to build it up, but I would say just gonna be better for people who are right around my skin tone. Any darker, I just don't think you're gonna get much from it. But I love the consistency of these blushes. I feel like Laura Geller does baked blushes the best. I have, you know, I certainly recommended some baked blushes here, and these are very good, but there is something about the Laura Geller Blush and Brightens trying to remember what she calls them. That is just beautiful. They're just a lovely, lovely product. Every single one of the Blush and Brightens that I have from Laura Geller, I am madly in love with. And once I finish this little sample guide, I am going to purchase the full size of it because it is just so darn beautiful. Okay, I believe a lot of people probably already have this in their collection. It's Pincho Peach from MAC. This is, it's just a quintessential, like, spring color. It should be called Pinch O Pink. There's nothing peach about this. I've never understood the name of it, but this is beautiful. I use this when I used to do bridal makeup. This is one of the colors that was like my go-to for my spring and summer brides because it just was like, oh, it just looked like a beautiful pink pop of color to the cheeks. And you can apply it a little bit lighter or you can build it up. Like for my brides, I would go pretty mild with it because a lot of my brides liked a little bit more emphasis on the eyes. So, but this was just perfect with so many different looks. And if you have this in your collection and you haven't pulled it out in a while, you really need to, because for spring, this is just absolute perfection. The last color is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the Luminous Flush. And I just have it in this Ambient Lighting Powder palette, but it is this guy over here. So it's the pink one. I love this one, the Luminous Flush for fall. Sorry, the Mood Exposure for fall, but the Luminous Flush for spring. Love it. And I would like to talk about the one in the middle too, but that's exclusive to this palette, so I'm going to leave it with the Luminous Flush. But you can see that is just such a beautiful pink color. There is something about the ambient lighting blushes that is, it just makes you look like you are glowing from within. Any of the ambient lighting things from Hourglass they don't look like you are applying something to your skin and getting a glow from those things. It's like you're glowing from within. I don't know how they do it. I don't, frankly, could care less because it just looks good on my skin. So I don't want to ask too many questions. Just keep doing what you're doing, Hourglass. But just totally worth the splurge. If you are somebody who likes to splurge on your blushes, this is a great one to splurge on. It is beautiful. Just gorgeous. And the last thing I'm going to mention is actually something that is, you can find it on HauteLook really quite frequently. It is the Tarina Tarantino Doll Skin Cheek Palette. I picked mine up from Sephora when they were clearancing the Tarina Tarantino stuff out. But all four of these blushes in here are like go-tos for me for the spring and summer. So you can see you've got 2 pinks and 2 peaches, and you've basically got 2 mattes and 2 shimmers. If you can find this blush palette on HauteLook or any of those other like outlet websites or whatever, you need to pick this up because it is totally worth the investment. I have used this for the last couple of years really pretty frequently during the spring and summer and have barely put a dent in these. They're just very pigmented, and I love the way these look on my cheeks. They have a very lovely consistency, and if you've ever like wondered if this was worth it quality-wise, it totally is. So I just had to mention it in case you do see it on, like I said, either HauteLook or any of those other websites out there that sell makeup that is maybe discontinued or whatever. So those are my blush picks for spring. So there's 10, 11, basically. Let me know what your blush picks are for the spring. This is definitely a fun time of year for brighter makeup, and some of these, you know, definitely a lot brighter than maybe what you would normally think about wearing, but with a light hand, I feel like you can take colors that might be a little bit uncomfortable for you, like these two, the Delizioso Pink or the Bella Rosa, and you can lighten them up, and you can just really get an awesome pop of color without, again, looking clownish. You just be careful with your application, you know, don't be too aggressive with it, tap off the excess, all of that jazz, everything that you always hear in tutorials. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed. Again, let me know what your picks are down below. thank you guys so much for watching. I think that's pretty much going to do it for my spring picks, unless you have other requests. So let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.